Hello everyone and welcome to Zach's Garage. Today we are doing a head-to-head shootout with my Mark III Focus RS and Luke's beautiful Mark III, what is it?
It's not a 3.
What is it? 7.
It's a Mark 7.5
7.5 Golf R. There's enough figures in there to keep you entertained. So run us through your car.
So yeah, this is my car. It's finished in lapis blue, which is the signature Golf R colour. So no, it's not a GTD. You know that because it's lapis blue.
That's the only thing that you can tell it's not a GTD.
So yeah, it's Mark 7.5 2018. It's got a 2-litre turbo engine, which is pushing about 310. However, I've recently dynoed it and it's made about 320, 325. It's got the DSG, so it's got 7-speed DSG as opposed to the manual, which makes a massive difference. So it's about half a second quicker to 60. And I like fiddling with the paddles because I've got T-carbon carbon extension paddles, which just make it a lot better. Other things which I've done, I've fitted a Maxton Design gloss black rear lip spoiler. It just makes the rear end look a bit more aggressive. I think it needed a little spoiler.
That's a few more extra brake horsepower, isn't it?
Oh yes, millions.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's running.
Might as well just say you've won.
And I've just recently done a little exhaust mod, which is a res delete, so pretty much just taken out one of the silencers, so it sounds a bit louder.
And we will be hearing that very soon.
We are. I've had it about 2 months, and I absolutely love it. Good.
That's a good thing. Right. So let's start off with a few of the categories. Right. So the first category, styling. You looking forward to this one?
Well, not seeing as I've seen your wing.
Yes, there's a lot of wing jealousy there. But yeah. So we're going to start with my car, and then we're going to move over to Luke's. Now, bearing in mind, I've done nothing to this. I haven't actually done any styling aspects to it.
Luke, boring.
Yes, because I'm boring. But Luke has actually done a few things to the car, which we'll run through in a second. But so 2017 Ford Focus. We're not going to mention the RS part first because the front fascia has been completely redone. So you have a much more open front, with the intercoolers down there and an extended splitter and generally just a much more aggressive high up look than the normal Focus. If we move back, we have the wheels. These are the optional extra wheels. They're not lighter than the normal ones, but they are black, which looks cool. You also have the Brembo nitrous blue brake calipers, which is very cool indeed. Multiple different features throughout the car. These lip down the bottom, and the main thing that Luke has already mentioned is the spoiler. So this is actually standard, believe it or not, even though it makes the car look like a proper boy racer's car, which it is. This is standard, so it doesn't really have too much aerodynamic benefits, as most of the handling comes to the incredible four-wheel drive system, which we'll talk about in a second. But if we move either further back, then this is where you can really tell it's a Focus RS. If you look at the size of these, those are massive. Now, we've been driving the car for quite a bit, so they are dirty. So I can tell you my fist will fit in there. I'm not going to do it, but it's, yeah, because it's filthy. So we have the diffuser. That is plastic with, I suppose you could call it a carbon effect. I didn't do it, just how Ford's done it. It's throughout all the plastic throughout the car. They don't try and make it look carbon. It's sort of a technical design. As mentioned before, so the spoiler, the centre part is in black. One thing I never quite understood is the fact that the RS logo wasn't in black on the side, but maybe that's something I might improve. RS badges literally everywhere. I will put a count up right now so you can see how many there is. Now let's take a little look inside of the car where there's some more very cool styling aspects. So, excuse the dirt, we've been using the car all day and in this countryside it is filthy, but we have the racing bucket seats. These are an optional extra by Ford. They're incredibly brilliant when using on track. Which is the reason why we bought this car. We didn't actually buy this car to daily. I don't drive daily this car. I'm driving it more and more, which I shouldn't really be doing. But anyway, it doesn't have race harnesses. It's just the normal seat belts. But all throughout, you've got this Alcantara and you've got the leather mix. You've got blue stitching all the way through and a very cool interior indeed. So what I will do is we'll head to some B-roll so you can see all the cool aspects of this car anyway. Okay, now we have had to move locations a little bit, so I have already had a little bit of a drive, but let's head out and I'll give you my genuine first impressions or second impression, whatever you wish. So, heading off, the clutch, it is very sensitive. It's something that I love and also hate about the Focus RS, is the fact that you can move away without using the accelerator. The car is programmed to do it, but it also means that you find yourself over revving it. You occasionally get the smell of clutch.
Oh, do you?
Which is fun. But it means when you're on it,
You're on
it shifts.
it. Yeah, I can imagine.
Really nicely. Now, as this is a performance car, I'm not going to sit here and waffle at 10 miles an hour. So the best thing to do is we press drive mode, and so we put it into sports, or actually let's put it into races. This is private road, this is private property, so I'm not breaking any laws, I'm not going to kill anyone.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not. Touch wood. So, coming to corners, the tearing is very tight. We can come round corners knowing
Oh yeah, isn't it?
it's incredible, isn't it?
It just goes round.
Yeah, and you open the pipes up and you're greeted by an absolute symphony. Right, pops and bangs.
They're like gunshots, they really are. And this is stock.
Yep,
Like,
completely stock. And this is why you don't need to do anything to the Focus RS.
yeah.
It's already as entertaining as you'd want any sort of car.
Because getting in this car now, I mean, this is my first time in a Focus RS.
Yeah.
If you hadn't have told me that this was stock, I would have thought, oh, what exhaust have you got on this thing?
Yeah, exactly.
It genuinely sounds aftermarket.
Exactly. And it's hilarious because you can go through a little bit and just two pops, bang bang. It's just brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. So entertaining. A part of this segment, emotion being speed and handling. Now we have a stretch of road in front of us, which is just, well, to say perfect. It is absolutely brilliant. It's a straight road with a little S-bend through, and it's ideal for what we need in this video. So we're going to do a 0 to 60 test, which Luke has his very trusty computer. We don't have VBox, we're not that advanced. I'm going to not use launch control because I find that in an everyday situation, if you're coming away from a traffic lights and you want to give it a bit of a hoonage, you don't have time to fiddle around with the computer.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
And you know, set up launch control. So all we're going to do is head off, and I will try and give some commentary as we're on it a little bit. It's only a short stretch, but should be good fun. So I'm going to head off once we get to a straight bit of road, and we're going to swap to this camera so you can see exactly what the driving experience is like.
Okay, in 3, 2, 1. That is quick.
It is quick.
For a manual, it's remarkable. It really
Going through
is.
this S-bend here, braking a little bit, but you can really throw the car round. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic coming to a gate.
Brakes are good as well.
Yeah, they are
They're
really
very
good. They're like no
My
joke.
face is like half a mile
Yeah.
up there now.
So
0 to 60, 5.93, which I think for a manual car is very good.
that's not bad. I feel
Because-
like with launch control, it would be
Yes.
better. It would be significantly quicker.
Because that instant surge.
Yeah,
has.
but you don't use launch control every day.
No.
And if you did, you'd have a big problem with this little stick here because it would fail on you. Now with that S-bend, as you can see, is the fact that it's subtle, but it's enough to be able to tell the way the body roll with the car. Now, as I was already pretty on it, you can tell with the four-wheel drive, you don't have to lift.
No.
It's sensational. I mean, the way they've done it is absolutely brilliant. I mean, I know the car's based on the WRC car.
Interesting. I didn't know
So
that.
Ken Block had a lot to do with that, and we all know he could drive.
Yeah.
So yeah, the car's got to be pretty good. So emotion, I would say
It's got a lot of it.
it's got a lot of it. Yeah, it gives you a real childish feeling. Now I know in some cars you don't want that. You genuinely don't want to feel like a little child, but in this you see it. It's nitrous blue. The paint's sparkly. It pops and bangs.
Yeah.
People hate you for driving it through towns, so you might as well enjoy it. And there is no way you couldn't enjoy this car.
Yeah. No, it's a proper little pocket rocket. It is the
Absolutely.
definition of hot hatch.
Absolutely. And I mean, I know you've got A45s, you've got Golf Rs, but I find that this was never built to be comfortable.
Yeah, that's
Because
fair enough.
the seats, admittedly, you can get the different seats, which are more comfortable. But the luxuries, this is all plastic. This is leather. All of this is plastic. So there's only really one real piece of leather apart from here and on the seats. So, I mean, the quality, it's not insane.
No,
but that's okay because it's what you'd expect.
It's not a premium
product. No, exactly.
Really,
it's not the luxury hot hatches.
No.
So now it's time to hop in your beast. So you're bravely giving me the keys.
Oh God.
So let's swap the cameras around and head out. So you've given me the key.
I have indeed.
Brave man. So first impressions, the steering sort of system. So that's the steering wheel and the dashboard. Spot on. I love it. I love the fact that you put the carbon paddles on.
Yeah, for me, they're more of a visual modification more than anything of being functional. Really. I mean, yes, they work, but I mean, I didn't need them.
No.
I just wanted them.
Exactly, and that's completely fine. So let's head off. You also have a camera system fitted, so it's going to say something quite funky. I don't know what it says.
Yeah, I got a dash cam fitted.
It's got a dash cam. Nothing wrong with that either. So
can I just say a very interesting point? We mentioned in your car how it was all very driver focused and aimed towards you. This is very slightly.
It is. It's slightly pointed towards me, but then you've got a nice big screen as well.
Yeah.
Which I think is great because it means that you can actually have sat navs. And is this Apple Play as well?
Yep, Apple CarPlay. And we have a boost gauge, a G meter as well.
A G meter.
G meter. So it's all very funky.
To see how much of a G you are when you're driving it. That's very cool. So, yeah, so you've got the carbon paddles. So let's start it up.
The visual cockpit comes into life.
I love that needle sweeps.
Yeah,
100% 10 points. The focus doesn't have it. It's annoying.
It's very HD as well. It sounds funny.
It is. It's very clear. It's crystal clear. Also has your name on.
Oh no, you drive a profile, so you can
drive a profile, so you can have Luke.
Yeah.
Or you can just put Skywalker at the end of it. Quite fun. Right, so let's head off now. Driver mode, we have it in race mode. Let's keep it that way. I'm going to go straight into paddles because every DSG drives exactly the same. Now the paddles really nice and responsive. Steering unbelievably light, so much lighter than the Focus.
Is it?
I mean, it's actually relaxing sitting in this car. The seats, they're just like,
they're supportive.
Yeah, they are supportive. You have bolstering, but also us being incredibly comfortable.
Exactly.
And the headrest, it's a proper headrest.
Yeah.
Now I have the G meter here, telling me I'm 0.03 of a G.
Not much of a G then.
Not much of a G, but we do also have this nice big stroke, which you guys have already seen. So I think it's only fair. So that's 60.
Sounds good on the gear change, doesn't it?
80, yeah. And that's 90 mile an hour, and I think that's not my car. So, no, I tell you what, it's actually a lot more relaxing.
It is, it's very...
to do, which is why I could drive this car every day, because it is a relaxing car to drive. It's not aggressive, even though it's in race mode.
I mean, if I were to put this back into normal mode, and you were to come out of paddles...
actually the steering becomes even lighter.
Yeah.
And the suspension becomes nice and loose, and it's,
it's so boring, so let's back it back.
Thank you. I didn't want to be the person to say it, but thank you. So the steering wheel, it's the right size. It's not too big. It's not too small. I think a lot of car companies do put too big of a steering wheel, too chunky. It's nicely shaped.
You've got the necessary buttons and stuff.
Yes, you do. So you've got all the voice control, and it's actually, I tell you what, it's much cleaner laid out than the Focus. But then this is a different price bracket as well. I do want to highlight that because the materials used in this are significantly better. Now, even though this isn't leather, this is still plastic. Am I right
soft touch. I don't know what it is, to be honest with you.
A special material.
I'm sure
people will let us know in the comments.
But all the piano black on everything as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Both the exterior
loads
and
of piano black. Now we have to be a bit careful around here because it's houses, but. I think I love all the accents everywhere. The blue lit up all the way along here, and it's just an all-round really brilliant car.
It is a nice place to be, isn't it?
Yeah, really lovely place to be.
You could very happily do hundreds of miles in this.
Absolutely. If you said to me do a road trip, I'd pick this in terms of the hot hatches. I even think the A45s. I think they might be a little bit overrated.
You think?
I don't know. Maybe. Need to get one to drive.
Pops and bangs.
Yes, there are plenty of pops and bangs.
Not as much as your car. I mean, your car's is on another level.
No, I know, but it's just.
It got a completely different exhaust now, actually. Doesn't
it? It does. Yeah. Now another thing. So this is obviously an automatic, which took me a while to get used to, considering I'm always driving manual cars.
Where's the clutch?
Yeah, I was sort of slamming on the brake, going, "This is weird." The brake, the distance between the brake pedal and the accelerator. is the right amount. It's
Yeah.
not ridiculously close, but it's also not too far away. And the brakes, even in race mode, they're not too sharp. I can come to a nice gentle stop and move away quite happily.
It is an issue when you're in traffic though.
Is it?
And
Why
you're
so?
in race mode, because when you're going very slow and you just want to come to a gentle
Yeah.
halt, it is quite twitchy sometimes.
Is it? Okay.
But that's when you're in standstill traffic. If you do it once
Sure.
or whatever, then it is
Sure.
fairly
Okay.
simple. It's only when you're doing it lots of times and it
Yes,
becomes an annoyance.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. So, what else is there to cover? Well, oh, hello.
There's a pheasant.
We are definitely in the countryside because I nearly hit a pheasant. So we are just coming up to the lovely stretch of road in which you guys have already seen. I don't have the camera set up straight. I've got it set up to here so you guys can see the beautiful, as you described it, crystal clear
There you go.
cockpit, which is very nice. Now we're going to give launch control.
Yeah.
It's his car. I will have to ask him if it's okay.
Right,
So-
what we've got to do here is we've got to put it in sport mode, because then
Sport mode. Okay.
it changes at its
Okay. Cool.
best point.
Okay. Cool.
We've got ESC in sport, so it's basically half off,
Okay. Cool.
and then basically the usual slam your foot, your left
Yep.
foot on the
Okay.
brake, and then your right foot
Nice.
hard down on the accelerator, and it'll go to 4,000, and then you just release your brake.
Okay. Awesome.
I shall time it.
Yes, please do. This is going to
So-
be in the twos, isn't it? Because it's your car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right. Oh, there we go. 22. The perfect example.
Okay, so
Right. Okay. Here we go.
so if you bury both feet, basically.
Yep.
3, 2, Surge is crazy.
60.
Interesting.
So coming into this S bend again, I feel like the body roll is a little bit more,
Yes, definitely. I can notice that.
but brakes
Brakes are equally as
actually,
good. Christ.
if
Has
not,
come
a
as well.
little bit better.
You think?
I don't know. I think it's the sort of thing you do genuinely have to be head to head to
Yes.
see the actual
Yeah.
braking distances. But my impression of driving this car, great buy.
you very
Genuinely
much.
brilliant buy. Typically German is what
Very-
I'd call it.
it's very well built,
Does
isn't it?
exactly what you'd want it to do on a very fun level.
Yes. I
On
mean,
a
it's
very fun
sophisticated
level. Yeah.
when you've got it in normal mode or eco mode. You put it in race mode,
And
it's completely
and it's
pointless.
great fun
Yeah.
in race mode. Brilliant. So let's park up and move on to the next section of the video.
Let's do that.
So the final round, it comes down to the pure noise of the car,
Yes.
which is something very exciting. So stock exhaust resonator delete.
Pretty much. So it's 80% stock.
Okay.
So stock cats, stock back box, but I've just taken out one of the resonator, which is basically a silencer. So it's a very cheap and easy mod to do.
Yep.
So it made it a little bit louder, but not drastically loud.
Fantastic. So in this section, we are going to have 3 sections. We're going to have the startup, we're going to have the rev, and we're going to have the flyby. So the startup is literally just starting it. They're both warm. They've both been driven fairly recently, well, as you guys have seen. We're going to have a rev, and then we're going to use the same lovely stretch of road for you guys to hear the flyby noise. So without further ado, I will let you go first.
Thank you very much.
So the startup noise. I'm going to unclip my microphone so you guys can actually hear exactly what this thing's like. Go for it. So that sounds cool. With that resonator delete, those pops and bangs
Yeah,
are cool.
it-
They're very sharp.
They're surprisingly louder with the res delete. You get a
Yeah.
good amount of pops and bangs. It's a
That's-
good fun. It's a nice noise really. It's yeah.
I like it. I like it a lot. Right, now we're gonna have to cut the camera so I can swap over microphones as I hop in my car. Now Luke has got my microphone, little fluffy thing, and I'm now gonna hop in, start it up so you can hear this lovely car.
The beast. The sound I think is the best bit. sounds bonkers.
Yeah?
Honestly, it's like knelt next to the exhaust.
Yeah?
It's like
You haven't got any burn marks, no?
eyebrows are gone though.
Good, right. So, now time for some flybys and then the final score.
The verdict.
The
important
verdict.
bit.
The important bit. So, time for some flybys. Right, so the final verdict. Now this is hilariously close.
It is,
now,
actually.
I will admit my car's won, but actually, you know the score as well.
Yeah.
And it's not me being silly saying my car's better than yours, because actually he's scored more points on the stuff that matters. The stuff that matters to me and to people I find who buy these cars is fun.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I just about pipped you. So let me get my phone out for the final scoring. Now I have it all on notes here and I'm going to run through it score by score. So styling, the Golf gets a 7 out of 10.
I think it's reasonable.
Which I think is reasonable. I think it's the only reason why I don't give it a higher number is the obvious, which is apart from the quad tips
Yeah.
and the R badges, how can you tell it's an R?
Yeah.
And admit it, I know some of you guys are going, oh my God, but it's so much more than that. But the Focus RS, it has a lot of difference between a normal Focus.
The aero kit.
The aero kit, the exhausts, which I know is the same on your car.
Yeah.
Admittedly, there's no actual different colours, so there's no black, which there is on yours. So anyway, I'm not going to dwell too much. Mine gets a 9 out of 10 just because it's so aggressive.
It is. You have that in your rearview mirror, and it
It
looks
really
nice.
is. I find that it almost looks like a snarling mouth from the front.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, emotion, one of the main things that matters in cars. Now, each review I do of these is going to be based on what the car's purpose is. Now, hot hatches, I think you'd agree, is for fun.
Yes.
It's to
definitely.
be able to hop in, throw it as hard as you want, and 99% of the time you get it bang on, and you feel like an absolute hero.
Yeah.
You feel like an 18-year-old Ayrton Senna. So for that reason, your car gets a 9 out of 10.
Okay. That's not
Now,
too bad.
the reason for that is everything in it is exactly what I'd want in a hot hatch. It's luxurious inside. I think the styling is very nice, as I mentioned before. The one thing that lets it down is body roll.
Yes.
Going through that S-bend, and I know a lot of people are saying, oh, but it's only one corner. But through that corner, I feel like you can actually tell.
Especially going back to back.
Absolutely, with the
Focus,
Focus. So I don't know a lot of the technical aspects about the gearbox and everything, about the suspension, but I find that it needed a little bit more stiffening up in race mode.
Yeah.
I find if they made it more rigid, you'd have a bit more faith in throwing it into corners and coming out of corners pretty hard.
Yeah.
So for that reason, 9 out of 10, still a bloody good score overall.
Nearly perfect.
Nearly perfect. Now, I hate the fact that you keep saying perfect because I've given mine a 10. Now, the reason for that is I encourage anyone who can is to get behind a wheel of the Focus. Now, off camera, Luke did have a go in the Focus.
Flipping good fun, I'll tell you.
It is genuine fun. It's not comfortable. It's not that practical. The quality of it, it's okay.
don't buy it
It's
for
all right.
those,
You
do
don't
you?
buy it for those, but the sheer fun knocks every other category out because it pops and bangs. You can throw it into corners so hard. I mean, we had to take a few attempts at drift mode because it kept sticking.
Yeah.
It wouldn't genuinely let me go. So I had to really go, you know what, I'm going to try and kill myself. And then it drives exactly how you'd want it to. So for that, I've given it a 10 out of 10. So it's still very close. So the next one, comfort and luxury. Now your car has definitely had
got this
mine
in the
on this.
bag.
You've got this. I've given you another 9 out of 10 as for the exact reasons that I've already said. It's a fantastically luxurious car. If you said to me, what would I rather have, that or an A45? I'd say that.
Yeah.
Because an A45, the fact that they put those against them, the luxury and the qualities of the materials used in that car is just applicable. It is fantastic. I think the feel you get inside is genuinely, it's comfy.
Yeah, it's very comfy. I mean, you could stick it on the motorway in normal mode.
Yeah.
And you would not get backache. You wouldn't get headache.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, you could cruise in that. Admittedly, I haven't done a lot of miles, but I can get a very good first impression. Now, mine gets a 6 because it's not comfy. It's just genuinely not.
No.
It's on a track, I'd rate it a lot higher, the comfort, for a very strange reason, because your car on a track, you'd probably slide around the seat a little bit more.
Yeah,
whereas the
definitely.
bolstering is so harsh on that you do have a lot more faith in the car,
Yeah,
in the fact, but for the reasons that I'm putting it up against, for fun, for using on the road, it's not that great. It's a little bit too bouncy, and so yeah, that's my score on that. Now, the final one is sound. Now, I'm really sorry, but I
Yeah.
definitely took you on
You
that.
did. I was stood right next to the exhaust, and I can tell that you won.
Yeah. So yours gets an 8 out of 10,
Which isn't too
because
bad.
which isn't too bad, because admittedly on the startup it wasn't that good.
No.
Revving, it has a lovely sound, but flyby, brilliant.
Yeah.
Because when you change gear, that resonator delete with that crack,
Yeah.
fantastic.
It's
It
unreal.
really, really has a brilliant sound to it, which I hope you guys agree with. Now mine, I think I've given it a justified 10 out of 10.
Of course you would.
I know, this is the problem, it's my car. Now I know you're always saying, everyone all at this point is probably switched off, so we're probably just talking between ourselves, but I've given it a 10 out of 10 because it is genuinely hilarious to listen to.
It is.
I mean, I've driven this thing through towns, and on this test, we can be doing 10 mile an hour, and I'll change gear, and it goes bang.
Yeah.
Oh, why? Because it can. So, final scores. If you guys are good at maths, you've all worked this out. Your car got 40.
40. Which 40 out of 50. It's only lost.
It's only lost 10 points, which is pretty good.
You couldn't have planned this.
I couldn't have planned this. I genuinely didn't plan this. I got 41. And actually, in the grand scheme of things, I think even though mine takes it, I think it's a fair scoring, because as I said to you guys when we were driving the Golf, if it were up to me to drive every day, I'd pick your car every single day. But to be a hot hatch and to have a good giggle,
Yeah. It's got to be the focus.
it's got to be the focus. And you even heard it from Mr.
From a
Luke
Golf owner.
himself. Exactly. So, guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video. I know it's ridiculously dark. In true British form, we are using the headlights to
Again,
light
couldn't
ourselves
plan
up.
that one
I
either.
cannot wait for the summer. But as always, make sure to check out Luke's channel. You probably already subscribed. Hampshire Photography. Brilliant channel. He's got some wicked stuff on there.
No, it's been a good day.
No, well, thank
been a
you for
fun video.
inviting me down.
No,
Thank you for
no worries.
letting me drive your car.
No problem at all.
And yeah, as always, thank you for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.